Hey man, here's the truth. No one will tell you. When a woman loses a man who was truly rare, she'll never fully heal. She'll move on, she'll post her new photos, she'll convince herself that life is better without you. But deep down, something inside her will always ache. Not because you were perfect, but because you were real. You were the one who gave her peace instead of drama, direction instead of confusion, and presence instead of promises. That's something she won't find again. Not because there aren't other men, but because most men are built for attention, not connection. You were different. You didn't chase her approval, you didn't fold under pressure, and that terrified her. She mistook your calm for disinterest, your silence for indifference, and your strength for distance. But she'll learn the hard way that the kind of man she took for granted doesn't come back around twice. At first, she'll feel relief. She'll convince herself that leaving you was freedom. Her friends will cheer her on, telling her she deserves better, and she'll believe it, at least for a while. She'll fill the silence you left with noise, parties, distractions, rebounds. She'll use her new independence as proof that she's thriving. But behind that confidence lies something darker, emptiness. Because when the excitement fades and the world quiets down, she'll feel the absence of your presence, the way you made her feel safe without saying much, the way you listened when no one else cared, the way your calm energy balanced her storms. She'll scroll through old photos, old messages, old memories, and that's when it'll hit her. You were never the problem. You were the peace. And peace doesn't get replaced. It gets missed in silence. You see, women can pretend very well. They're masters at emotional illusion. They'll smile in public, post quotes about healing, and look like they've moved on. But healing isn't in the image, it's in the silence. And when that silence grows loud enough, it becomes unbearable. That's when your absence starts to echo. She'll compare every man after you to what you used to be. Not because she wants to, but because her mind won't let her forget. She'll crave your emotional steadiness when the next man overreacts. She'll miss your quiet confidence when the next one tries too hard. She'll long for the way you made her feel protected, not possessed. Because every time she tries to recreate that feeling, it'll fall short. She'll realize too late that love built on peace is the hardest to replace. And make no mistake, she'll try to replace you. She'll date men who seem exciting, who make her feel alive in the short term. But excitement without security is just chaos, disguised as chemistry. Eventually, she'll see that what she thought was boring about you was actually stability. That what she mistook for distance was emotional maturity. She'll see the difference between a man who wants her body and a man who understands her soul. But by the time she realizes that, you'll be long gone, healed, evolved, and untouchable. She'll remember your patience when others lose their temper. She'll remember your discipline when others crumble. And she'll remember your silence, that powerful silence that once made her feel small, now making her feel haunted. Because it's not the sound of your voice she misses. It's the calm of your presence. What breaks her the most isn't losing you. It's realizing that you never chased her afterward, because deep down she expected you to. She counted on your softness, your forgiveness, your desire to fix things. But when she saw that you didn't, something inside her broke. Not her pride, her illusion of control. That's when the respect comes back. Long after the love is gone, she'll start asking herself questions she never did before. Did I push him too far? Did he ever really love me? Why isn't he trying? Those questions don't fade easily. They linger. Because when a man walks away without anger, without words, without blame, that kind of silence leaves a scar. It tells her she wasn't dealing with an emotional boy. She was dealing with a man who could let go with dignity. And that's a pain no rebound can heal. As time passes, her mind will start playing tricks on her. At first, she'll replay the breakup as if she was the hero, the strong one who chose herself, who walked away. But the more distance grows, the less believable that story becomes, because the truth has a strange way of echoing back when the emotions settle. Every time she meets someone new, she'll catch a flicker of you in their mannerisms, the tone, the patience, the calm, but it'll always feel off, like a copy that's just slightly out of rhythm. She'll tell herself she's healed, that she's fine, but her subconscious will betray her. Little reminders of you, a song, a smell, a phrase, will pull her back into the past without warning. And it won't be nostalgia she feels, it'll be grief. Not for losing love, but for losing respect. Because deep down, she'll know she didn't lose you, she let you go. That realization doesn't come in a single moment, it arrives slowly, like a storm that never leaves. It starts when she notices that the men she attracts now don't challenge her, don't calm her, don't see through her. They mirror her chaos, not her potential. And soon, she'll understand the difference between attention and affection. Attention fills the room, but affection fills the soul, and you were the latter. You didn't need to impress her with words, you impressed her with presence. You didn't try to control her, you gave her the freedom to be herself. That's why she could never stop testing you. Because the truth is, when a woman meets a man like that, calm, grounded, unshakable, she can't help but push to see if he's real. And when you finally stopped responding, she realized the test was over. You passed it, she failed it, and now she's living in the silence of that lesson. Her friends won't understand it. They'll see her doing fine, laughing, working, dating. But you can always tell when a woman's pretending. It's in her eyes, in her restlessness, in her sudden bursts of emotion, for no reason. Because emotional suppression isn't healing, it's denial. She'll talk about you less, but think about you more. She'll try to hate you to make the feelings go away, but hate is just love turned inward. And when she finally realizes she can't escape the thought of you, she'll start romanticizing the past. The same moments she dismissed will now become her regrets. The same qualities she once found too serious will become what she craves. The same piece she thought was boring will feel like the only thing missing, and she'll replay it over and over, not because she wants you back, but because her ego can't stand losing someone who never begged to stay. There's a cruel irony in all this. She thought she'd break you by leaving. She thought silence would make you crumble, but instead, you became stronger, colder, wiser, calmer. The man she left behind died quietly, the moment you accepted that you couldn't fix what didn't want to be healed. What came after wasn't revenge, it was rebirth. You stopped chasing emotions that couldn't sustain you. You stopped arguing for your worth. You stopped trying to prove that your love was enough. And in doing so, you became something she can't compete with, a man at peace with himself. That peace is haunting, because once a woman has felt it, truly felt it, every other man after you feels like noise. And that's the tragedy. She'll never admit you didn't just love her, you awakened her. And that kind of love doesn't fade. It lingers, quietly, in the spaces between her pretending. Even years later, when you've moved on and built a life she's no longer part of, your shadow will remain in hers. She'll see you in quiet men, in moments of stillness, in the way someone else listens. But it'll never be the same. Because the truth is, no one forgets the person who loved them with intention. No one forgets the calm after chaos, the presence after the storm. And that's what you were, her calm after every storm she created. She'll never tell anyone how much it hurts. She'll wear strength like a mask, telling herself she's healed, that she's grown. But deep down, she knows healing isn't forgetting. Healing is learning to live with the absence of what once made her feel alive. And that absence is you. What begins as quiet guilt eventually evolves into obsession. Not the kind she'll admit, but the kind that hides behind her distractions. She'll scroll through your profile, pretending it's just curiosity, but her stomach will twist when she sees that calm expression. The same calm that once made her feel safe, now reminding her how easily you've detached. Every picture, every new chapter of your life will sting, not because you're happier, but because you no longer need her to be happy. That's the dagger. You were once her emotional anchor, the steady rhythm to her chaos. Now she's watching that same steadiness directed elsewhere, maybe into your purpose, your growth, or someone new who doesn't drain your energy like she did. And no matter how strong she pretends to be, she'll feel something she can't escape: irrelevance. That's the wound no woman heals from, realizing she used to be the center of a man's world, and now she's not even a thought in his mind. She'll keep up the act though, the illusion of peace. She'll laugh a little louder, flirt a little harder, and convince herself that she's moved on. But when the nights get quiet, when the lights go off, and there's no one to impress, that's when the real truth shows up. That's when her mind whispers the things her pride refuses to say out loud. He was different, he didn't play games, he actually meant what he said. She'll remember how you never argued for attention, never begged for affection, and never stoop to manipulation, she'll realize that in a world full of men trying to impress her, you were the only one trying to understand her. That's why you're unforgettable. Because women forget words, but they never forget energy. The energy of a man who was calm, disciplined, and impossible to manipulate, that sticks forever. See, what really breaks her isn't the thought of losing you. It's realizing that someone else now gets the version of you she helped build. The version who learned from her chaos, who evolved past her games, who now loves with clarity instead of confusion. That thought will burn her from the inside out. Because deep down, every woman wants to believe she was the one who shaped a man into his best self, not the one who broke him enough for someone else to benefit. So when she sees you thriving, focused, maybe even in love again, it won't just be jealousy. It'll be the sharp sting of understanding that she was a chapter in your growth, but you were the whole book in hers. You were the standard that no one else can meet. And every time she tries to replace that feeling, it'll feel forced, artificial, hollow, because the truth is, the peace you gave her became her addiction, and losing that peace will feel like withdrawal. And here's what she'll never tell anyone. You taught her what real love feels like, even if she didn't know how to handle it. You didn't try to control her, you didn't argue with her illusions, you just stood your ground and watched her unravel herself. That kind of strength isn't easy to find. Most men either break under emotional pressure or play the same manipulative games in return. But you didn't fight for validation. You stayed quiet, you stayed steady, and that made her panic. Because deep down, every woman knows when a man can walk away from her without hate in his heart, she's lost something sacred. She didn't lose attention, she lost presence. Presence is what women crave more than love. That deep, unspoken awareness of being seen without being judged. And when she realizes she can't recreate that with anyone else, that's when the real heartbreak begins. Over time, she'll stop blaming you for leaving and start blaming herself for losing you. The same pride that once made her cold will now make her quiet. She'll scroll past your name, wanting to reach out, but stopping herself every time, because she knows the man you've become no longer belongs to the world she lives in. You've elevated, you've detached, you've grown into a version of yourself that doesn't chase closure because peace became your closure. And ironically, that's what will pull her back to you energetically. Not your love, not your words, but your indifference. Because when a man who once gave everything becomes silent, that silence turns into gravity. It pulls her thoughts back over and over until she's trapped in a cycle of memory, regret, and longing. And even if she never texts you, never speaks your name, she'll still be fighting that invisible pull. The haunting awareness that no matter what she does, she'll never heal from losing a man who no longer needs her to remember him. As the months pass, something inside her starts to fracture, quietly, slowly, almost imperceptibly at first. She'll date again, but every interaction will feel empty. Every man she meets will either be too eager or too cold, too emotional or too distant, too performative or too dull. None of them will make her feel that perfect balance of safety and mystery you gave her. She won't know how to explain it, but she'll feel it in her gut that something vital is missing. That something is your energy, the rare calm confidence that never needed validation to exist. The kind that made her feel both safe and challenged at the same time. She'll try to find it again, over and over, searching for that same emotional chemistry, but every attempt will leave her more exhausted. Because the truth is, once a woman has tasted emotional depth, surface-level attention becomes unbearable. And the tragedy is, she let go of the only man who gave her that without demanding anything in return. The facade of healing will start to crumble in private. When she's alone, her thoughts will betray her strength. She'll remember small things, the way you never raised your voice, but somehow always commanded the room, the way your silence spoke louder than other men's shouting, the way you didn't argue to prove a point. You lived in a way that made your point undeniable. And suddenly, those memories won't feel comforting, they'll feel punishing, because they'll remind her of what she destroyed out of immaturity, insecurity, or pride. You were never in competition with other men. You were in competition with her fantasy, the version of love she imagined she wanted. And only after losing you did she realize that fantasy was hollow. You were the reality that could have grounded her, but she traded truth for stimulation. Now she's left with constant noise in her head, replaying your calm, as if it were a dream she's desperately trying to wake up from. There will come a night, maybe after a bad date, or an argument with someone new, when it finally hits her. The weight of what she lost will settle in her chest like a quiet storm. She'll stare at her reflection, asking herself how she ended up here, how she went from feeling loved and understood to feeling replaceable and unseen. And that's when your absence will hit her with full force, not as a memory, but as a mirror, because your absence will show her everything she avoided about herself. You were never her escape, you were her reflection. You showed her how chaotic she was, how impulsive, how afraid of real love she truly felt. Losing you was never about you, it was about her inability to rise to your level of calm. And now she'll crave that calm like oxygen, not realizing she'll never find it again, because the only way to find peace is to become it, and she's still chasing it externally. She'll talk to her friends, and they'll tell her she's better off. They'll remind her that you were too serious, too stoic, too detached, and maybe she'll nod and agree. But inside, her heart will reject those words, because she knows what they don't, that your detachment wasn't coldness, it was discipline. That your silence wasn't disinterest, it was wisdom. That your distance wasn't punishment, it was protection for both of you. And as she listens to the empty advice of people who never experience depth, she'll feel that gnawing sense of disconnect. They'll tell her to find someone new, but she won't want new. She'll want real, and she'll remember that real once existed in the form of you, the man who never raised his hand or voice, who never begged or pleaded, who never played games. The man who walked away quietly, and by doing so, left a permanent imprint on her soul. Because love may fade, but energy doesn't. And your energy, it became her ghost. Eventually, she'll start wondering where you are, what you're doing, whether you've moved on. She'll resist the urge to reach out, convincing herself that you don't care anymore. But that's what hurts the most, knowing deep down that she doesn't cross your mind the way you cross hers. Because while she's replaying the past, you've already rewritten your future. You've turned pain into purpose, heartbreak into growth, and loss into clarity. She'll sense that energetically, even if she never sees it, because a woman can feel when a man she once had has transcended her influence. And that realization will haunt her quietly. The knowledge that she didn't just lose a man, she lost her mirror, her calm, her anchor. You've become the story she'll never tell out loud, the one about the man who didn't chase, didn't hate, didn't break. The man who simply walked away and became everything she wished she had valued when she had the chance. And that's a regret she'll carry for life. Years will pass, and on the surface it'll look like she's finally healed. She'll post pictures smiling with friends, go on vacations, maybe even fall into another relationship that seems stable from the outside. But the truth hides in the details, the way she still glances at her phone when she's alone, the way her laughter fades a second too early, the way her eyes glaze over when someone asks about her past. Because no matter how much time passes, she'll never forget the man who didn't need to be remembered. You see, that's what separates you from everyone else. Every other man wanted her attention. You wanted her respect. Every other man fought for her time. You simply walked away and reclaimed yours. That's a different kind of imprint, one that doesn't fade with distance or years. It lingers in the quiet spaces of her mind, whispering reminders that she once had something real and didn't recognize it until it was gone. And every time she senses that ache again, she'll realize it's not love she misses, it's peace. She'll encounter men who treat her better on paper, more affectionate, more expressive, more open. But something will always feel off, because while they may say the right words, they'll lack the energy that once made her feel grounded. You gave her stillness in a world addicted to noise. You were the calm that didn't need to be proven. And even if she tries to convince herself that you weren't right for her, her body will tell her otherwise. The way her heart races when she hears your name, the sudden tension when she sees a man who carries himself like you, that's muscle memory, emotional conditioning. Her nervous system remembers the safety of your presence, even if her pride doesn't. And that's the cruel part. She'll spend the rest of her life trying to find a man who makes her feel the same way, but every attempt will feel like she's chasing a shadow. Because once a woman has experienced emotional safety, she can't unfeel it, and she'll always associate that feeling with you. Eventually, she'll start romanticizing the chaos she once created. She'll tell herself she left because she wasn't ready or that the timing was wrong. But those are just stories the ego tells to avoid guilt. The truth? She left because she couldn't control you. And now that she's older, wiser, and more self-aware, she'll finally understand how rare that was. Most men bend. You didn't. Most men chase. You didn't. Most men react. You stayed still. And now she'll see that your restraint wasn't coldness, it was mastery. The ability to remain composed in moments that would have made lesser men collapse. That realization will torment her, because it means she didn't just lose a man, she lost the experience of being in the presence of something unshakable. And every time she meets someone new, she'll subconsciously test them the same way she tested you, only to find out that no one else can hold frame like you did. And that's when she'll realize that the kind of man she lost wasn't ordinary. He was timeless. There's a deep irony in the way this all unfolds. When you were with her, she was constantly searching for something more excitement, more passion, more validation. But now every more she finds only reminds her of what she had in simplicity. The quiet moments she once overlooked, your steady tone, your patience, your refusal to argue, now feel like the kind of love she prays for. She'll start seeing your value in retrospect, piece by piece, through the failures of others. And that's when the regret transforms from emotional to existential. Because she won't just miss you, she'll miss the version of herself she was when she was with you. The woman who felt safe enough to be soft. The woman who didn't have to perform, compete, or overthink. Losing you didn't just mean losing love, it meant losing the one environment where her soul could rest. And that kind of loss isn't something you recover from, it's something you learn to live with quietly. In the end, she'll never fully admit any of this. Not to her friends, not to her family, not even to herself. Pride won't let her, but life has a way of forcing reflection in the quiet hours. When she's lying in bed next to someone who doesn't make her feel seen, when she hears a song that sounds like your energy, when she feels that strange, unexplainable ache in her chest, she'll know. She'll know that no matter how much she tried to move on, part of her heart stayed where she left it with you. Because real connection doesn't die, it just goes silent. And while your silence brought you peace, hers became her punishment. You became the lesson she teaches her friends about too late, the one she tells herself she'll never repeat. But deep down, she'll always wish she could. Because no matter who she becomes, no matter where life takes her, she'll never truly heal from losing the man who taught her what love could have been and what peace always should be. Eventually, the silence becomes her only connection to you. It's strange. At first, she feared it, tried to escape it, drowned it out with meaningless noise. But as the years pass, she'll find herself craving it again, that same silence that used to exist between you. The kind that wasn't empty, but heavy with unspoken understanding. The kind where she felt safe, seen, and at peace without needing to fill it with words. Every chaotic argument in her new relationships will remind her of how calm it used to be with you. Every impulsive man she meets will make her miss the patience you carried naturally. Every emotional outburst she's forced to endure will echo against the quiet strength you once embodied. And as she lies awake at night, she'll realize something she'll never admit to anyone, that the silence she ran from has become the silence she yearns for, because that silence wasn't the absence of love, it was the presence of everything she never understood until it was gone. There will come a day when she finally sees you again, maybe by accident, maybe through someone else's post, or maybe just by chance. And for a brief moment, the world will stop. She'll study your face, your body language, your eyes, and she'll notice something she can't ignore. You're no longer the same man. There's a weight to your calm now, a depth to your stillness that wasn't there before. She'll sense that you've transcended the pain she caused, that you've outgrown the emotional gravity she once had over you. You'll smile, maybe nod politely, but your energy will speak volumes. You've made peace with everything she tried to destroy in you, and that will crush her. Because she'll realize that while she was out searching for new experiences, you were becoming something she'll never have access to again, a man fully content within himself. You became the ending to her story that she'll keep rewriting but never get right. Over time, that realization turns into quiet envy, not of your success, not of your new life, but of your peace, because peace is the one thing her soul can't replicate. She can mimic happiness, perform confidence, and chase pleasure, but she can't manufacture the grounded presence you carry. That peace is what every woman subconsciously searches for. Not a man who makes her feel excited, but one who makes her feel safe. And when she looks at you, she'll feel that energy again, only now it'll hurt. Because she'll know that she once had that safety in her hands and treated it like boredom. She'll understand that it wasn't you who was too calm. It was her who was too chaotic to appreciate it. And that's when the ache turns permanent. Not the kind that bursts into tears, but the quiet ache that never fades. The kind that whispers at night, "You lost him, and he's never coming back." She'll spend the rest of her life trying to rewrite the narrative, telling herself you weren't right for her, that it wouldn't have worked anyway. But no matter how many times she repeats it, her body won't believe her. Because emotional memory doesn't obey logic, it obeys truth. And the truth is, you were her peace, her balance, her mirror, and she'll feel that loss in the smallest moments. When she laughs but doesn't feel it. When she's surrounded by people but still feels alone. When she receives love but doesn't feel safe in it. That's the cost of losing a man who knew his worth. He doesn't just disappear from your life, he disappears from your energy. And once your energy is gone, she'll spend years chasing reflections of it in every man she meets. But reflections fade, and eventually she'll have to face the cruelest truth of all, that no one else will ever feel like you did, because no one else is you. And so she'll move through life, wearing a mask of strength, while quietly carrying the ghost of your presence. You'll rarely cross paths, but your memory will cross her mind every time she sees a man pretending to be strong, because your strength wasn't loud, it was silent. Your love wasn't desperate, it was disciplined. Your presence wasn't demanding, it was grounding. And that's what will haunt her forever. Because real men, the kind who love deeply but never lose themselves, are rare. You were the exception in a world full of performers, and the hardest truth she'll ever face is that she didn't just lose love. She lost a man who would have stood by her, even when she couldn't stand herself, but she pushed him away. Now she'll have to live with that echo, that in the end, she didn't break you. You outgrew her. And the peace you found without her, that's the punishment she'll never escape. Time will continue to move, and so will you. But in a different direction. You won't be running from her anymore, nor from what happened. You'll be walking forward with a calm sense of understanding, realizing that what once broke you also built you. Her leaving, her indifference, her manipulation, all of it forged the very stillness she now craves. You'll start to see it clearly. She was never your punishment, she was your preparation. Preparation for a higher level of awareness, for emotional control, for the kind of strength that doesn't need validation to feel whole. The man you've become isn't cold, he's complete. And that completeness radiates in silence. While she searches for meaning in temporary highs, you found peace in simplicity. You've stopped explaining, stopped proving, stopped chasing. You've outgrown the version of yourself who once needed her to see your worth. Because now, your worth is self-evident, not in what you say, but in how still you've become. She'll sense that shift from afar, even if you never speak again. That's the power of energy. When a man evolves beyond attachment, the women who once drained him feel the loss in their spirit. She'll feel your absence differently now, not as silence, but as peace that excludes her. And that exclusion will cut deeper than any insult ever could, because she'll finally understand that peace is not given to everyone, it's earned. She had her chance, and she wasted it trying to control it, trying to make it conform to her chaos. But peace doesn't belong to the manipulative, it belongs to the grounded. It belongs to the man who knows himself so deeply that nothing external can shake him anymore. And when she looks at you, whether in person or through the faint digital trace of your existence, she'll realize that she's looking at something sacred she once desecrated. The kind of calm that no longer needs her forgiveness. What used to trigger you now amuses you. The games, the drama, the emotional tests, they no longer affect you because you see them for what they are. Desperate bids for control. You understand now that women test to feel safe, but when those tests become endless, they stop being about connection and start being about ego. You don't resent her for it anymore, you simply detach. That's the beauty of growth. You stop needing closure from people who aren't capable of giving it. You realize that closure doesn't come from conversations, it comes from self-respect. The moment you stop trying to convince her, you set yourself free. Because the truth is, when a man truly lets go, the world bends differently around him. His presence becomes magnetic, his silence becomes commanding, and his peace becomes power. And that power is something she'll always feel but never reclaim, because it was never hers to begin with. It was always yours, just forgotten. In quiet moments, you'll reflect on everything that happened, not with bitterness, but with clarity. You'll understand that her actions weren't about you. They were about her fear of losing control. She didn't betray you because she didn't care. She betrayed you because she didn't understand love without dominance. You were too steady for her chaos, too composed for her ego. And when she couldn't bend you, she broke what she could, the connection. But here's the irony. In breaking it, she set you free. Because men like you don't thrive in drama, you thrive in depth. And once you experience peace, chaos becomes unappealing. That's why, even if she begged for another chance now, you wouldn't take it, not out of revenge, but out of wisdom. You've seen the cycle for what it is, and once a man sees the game, he stops playing it. You no longer crave her energy, you protect yours. There will come a day, not too far from now, when you wake up and realize she no longer crosses your mind, not out of suppression, but because your heart has finally outgrown the need to look back. You'll think of her the way you think of a storm, intense, destructive, but necessary for growth. You'll feel gratitude, not resentment, because without her, you would have never learned the art of emotional detachment, the strength in silence, the power in walking away without anger. And that's when you'll understand the full circle of masculine peace. It's not about winning her back or proving her wrong. It's about no longer needing either. You've become the man she could never destroy, the one she'll remember but never replace. And the quiet truth is this: you didn't just survive losing her, you transcended it. And that transcendence, that unshakable peace, is the very thing she'll spend her entire life trying to find again in every man who isn't you. As time stretches further, she begins to feel something she's never known before: humility. It doesn't come all at once, it creeps in slowly, disguised as quiet moments of self-awareness. Maybe it's when she's out with friends, laughing at meaningless jokes, when suddenly her chest feels hollow, or when she's in a new man's arms and realizes she's pretending to feel something she doesn't. That's when humility enters, because for the first time she sees the pattern, how every man after you was just an echo, a replacement attempt, a desperate try to fill a void that wasn't meant to be filled, only understood. You were never just a man to her, you were the reflection of everything she couldn't be, calm, composed, and sure of himself. And now, with every impulsive choice, every short-lived thrill, every fake smile, she's reminded of that steadiness. The same steadiness she thought was boring, but now recognizes as the rarest form of masculine power. She'll think back to all the times she mistook your silence for weakness, your composure for disinterest, your calmness for apathy. Back then, she couldn't see that silence is not the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. She couldn't understand that a man who doesn't react isn't cold, he's in control. And now, when she finds herself reacting, overthinking, overcompensating for the loss of that balance, she'll see how wrong she was. That realization will sting, because it's one thing to lose love, but it's another to lose respect for yourself because of how you mishandled it. She'll remember the moments you gave her grace, the times you didn't retaliate when you easily could have. She'll finally realize that your silence wasn't punishment, it was mercy. You gave her the chance to keep her dignity even when she didn't deserve it. And now that she's learned the hard way, she'll wish she had known then what she knows now. That silence, when coming from a strong man, is sacred. But while she's learning through pain, you'll be moving in peace. That's the difference between men and women after the storm. Men rebuild, women relive. You'll be creating new goals, focusing on growth, mastering your craft, becoming sharper with every passing day. While she's still replaying conversations, you'll be writing new chapters. It's not cruelty, it's nature, because masculine energy expands through direction, while feminine energy contracts through reflection. And this is what she never understood about you. Your ability to detach wasn't about a lack of love, it was about purpose. You didn't walk away because you stopped caring. You walked away because you refused to drown in something that wasn't built to last. That's what separates grounded men from the rest. They understand that love is not about possession, it's about alignment. If peace isn't present, no amount of affection can replace it. And you chose peace, a choice that now defines you, even as it haunts her. Every once in a while, she'll try to test the waters. Maybe she'll like an old photo, send a vague message, or ask a mutual friend about you. It won't be because she truly wants to reconnect. It'll be because she wants to know if she still matters. She'll be hoping for a reaction, any sign that she still holds space in your world. But all she'll be met with is indifference, not coldness, not bitterness, just calm absence. And that absence will scream louder than any reply could, because she'll see that your peace is real, not performative. You've moved beyond the emotional ecosystem where she once thrived. You no longer need to prove your growth. It's visible in how little you explain yourself now. She'll realize she's no longer the center of your story, and that will break something inside her, because for the first time, she'll understand that she wasn't just replaced by someone else, she was replaced by your peace, and that's how it ends. Not with a dramatic confrontation or a tearful reunion, but with quiet acceptance. She'll finally stop trying to reach out, not because she's moved on, but because she's surrendered to reality. The man she once knew is gone, not dead, but evolved. You're not angry anymore, you're not bitter, you're simply done. And that, more than anything, is what will haunt her. The realization that she can't access you anymore, not emotionally, not spiritually, not even energetically. You've ascended into a space she can't enter, where your peace is impenetrable and your silence eternal. And while she'll go on living, smiling, pretending, she'll always carry that, knowing deep down that she met a man who could have loved her for life. And she lost him not because he stopped loving her, but because he finally started loving himself. That's the kind of ending that doesn't need revenge or closure, it just needs distance. And in that distance, you win quietly. When you reach that point, the point where you no longer need her, not even in thought, something profound happens inside you. You begin to understand that real strength isn't about dominating others, or winning arguments, or proving your worth. It's about emotional self-command. It's about being able to sit in silence and feel nothing but peace. The world will test that peace. Women will test that peace. Life will shake it, but the man who has truly let go cannot be moved, because you're no longer reacting to life from your wounds. You're responding from your wisdom. You've realized that not everyone who touches your heart deserves to stay there. Some people were only meant to awaken you, not accompany you. And once you accept that, you start walking differently. You carry yourself like a man who has seen the truth. That peace, once earned, is the most attractive thing a man can possess. There's a strange beauty in detachment, not coldness, but calm understanding. You no longer take things personally, because you've finally seen that everyone acts from their level of consciousness. Her betrayal, her confusion, her games, they were never about you. They were expressions of her own inner chaos. And you, as a man, chose to no longer be her mirror. You refused to participate in her self-destruction. That's what walking away truly means. Not running, not hiding, but choosing peace over ego. And the moment you chose peace, life began rewarding you in quiet ways. Opportunities open, clarity returns, your masculine energy realigns. Because the same energy you once wasted on trying to fix her, you now invest in building yourself. You're not trying to get her back, you're trying to never lose yourself again. That's the real victory, when your heart belongs to your mission, not to someone who didn't value it. And then something unexpected happens. People start to notice, not because you're showing off, but because peace has a frequency that commands attention. Women who once overlooked you start to see something different, not desperation, but direction. They can feel that your validation no longer comes from them, and that makes your energy magnetic, because women aren't drawn to need, they're drawn to centeredness. They crave the stability they can't find within themselves. And now, after all the pain, you've become that stability. You don't chase, you attract. You don't talk, you observe. You don't demand, you detach. That's when you understand the paradox. The less you care about being desired, the more desirable you become. Not because you're playing games, but because indifference born from self-respect is power. And once you reach that point, love can never enslave you again, only align with you. You'll also start to see how deeply modern love has lost its essence. Relationships today are built on validation, not understanding. They thrive on attention, not respect. And you'll realize why most men suffer, because they keep trying to love women who don't even love themselves. You'll stop romanticizing potential. You'll stop confusing chaos for chemistry. You'll stop saving people who don't want to be saved. Instead, you'll learn to stand still, to let people show you who they are without trying to change them. That's wisdom, because the man who knows himself doesn't chase what isn't aligned. He knows that not every woman deserves his energy, not every connection deserves his depth. And that discernment, that quiet filter between impulse and action, is what transforms a boy who needs love into a man who gives peace. You no longer seek women to fill your emptiness. You seek solitude to protect your fullness. But the story doesn't end with her regret. It continues with your transformation. The man you've become now carries lessons no one can take away. You've learned that silence is louder than anger, that indifference is stronger than revenge, that presence is more intimidating than aggression. You've learned that when you no longer seek to prove, you begin to move with purpose. Every interaction becomes cleaner. Every decision becomes simpler. You no longer argue with emotion, you observe it. You no longer seek validation, you embody it. You finally arrived at the place most men never reach, a space of grounded masculinity. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that simply is. You are firm, not forceful, detached, not distant, peaceful, not passive. You've learned that the most powerful man is not the one who conquers women, but the one who conquers himself. Meanwhile, she'll keep circling back to that energy, in memories, in dreams, in subtle moments when she least expects it, because your energy left an imprint on her nervous system. It wasn't about looks, money, or charm. It was about the way you made her feel safe in your silence. That kind of safety can't be replicated by surface-level men. It can't be replaced by attention or luxury. It's a spiritual resonance that leaves her unsettled in every new relationship. Because no matter how loud her life becomes, she'll never find that same calm again. You'll haunt her, not by choice, but by contrast. You'll be the quiet benchmark she measures every man against. And deep down, she'll know the truth. She didn't just lose you, she lost the version of herself that existed in your peace. And that loss will echo through her life, long after she's learned to smile again. There's a divine irony to all of it. You didn't chase revenge, yet she feels punished. You didn't say a word, yet your silence became a sermon. You didn't try to prove anything, yet you became unforgettable. That's how masculine energy works when it's pure. It doesn't need to fight for acknowledgement. It simply exists and commands it. You've realized that true power isn't about control, it's about restraint. Anyone can react. Few can remain still. And that stillness is what separates men who are emotionally reactive from men who are spiritually elevated. You've joined the latter. You no longer need her chaos to feel alive. You've found life in discipline, focus, and purpose. That's what she never understood. That peace is not the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. And the man who masters himself will always be feared, respected, and desired, often all at once. But don't mistake this story as bitterness, it's evolution. Because what once hurt you has now become your foundation. You'll look back one day and realize that she was never your loss, she was your initiation. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every silence shaped you into the man who no longer breaks when others do. You stopped asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and started asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That shift from victimhood to awareness is the moment a man reclaims his life. You're no longer waiting for apologies. You're not expecting closure. You've become both the wound and the healer. That's real masculinity, the ability to face pain without resentment, to let go without hate, and to move on without leaving pieces of yourself behind. You've integrated the lesson, and now, peace isn't just something you practice, it's something you are. As you continue your path, you'll notice how your energy attracts differently now. The same kind of women who once dismissed you now feel drawn, but this time, you'll see through them. You'll sense their intentions. You'll protect your energy like sacred ground, because once a man has built peace, he guards it like a fortress. You'll engage with people from a higher vibration, not for validation, but for alignment. You'll no longer romanticize emotional intensity. You'll crave emotional stability. And while others are chasing attention, you'll be chasing mastery of your mind, your habits, your mission. That's when life becomes effortless. Because the man who is at peace with himself no longer competes with the world aligns with him. You'll notice abundance flowing, not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped chasing what was never meant for you. And someday, when you're fully at peace, when you've built your life, your purpose, your presence, you'll look back and smile. Not out of arrogance, but out of deep understanding. You'll realize that everything unfolded exactly as it should have. She came into your life not to stay, but to awaken you. Her loss was your lesson, her rejection was your redirection, and her silence was your sanctuary. You've become the kind of man who no longer seeks validation because he has built a world that validates itself, a world of calm, purpose, and strength. And while she'll spend years wondering why she can't move on, you'll be too busy living in the peace she never could give you. That's the truth of masculine detachment. It's not about winning her back, it's about never needing her again. You've ascended from her chaos into clarity. And that, my friend, is the quiet victory every strong man earns, alone, unbothered, and free.